Fuck your God, God damn it.
Fuck your God, God damn it. Eric took advantage while I was drinking my beer. So, hi, Eric. This is Matthew.
This is Eric.
Oh, shit.
I'm not drunk. Anyway.
No.
It's on water.
Just on water. Actually, I only just opened this up a minute ago. And
yeah, it's just your fifth one. Anyway.
Oh, shit. So, Eric, what the hell is going on?
Shit, do you know how cold it is here? It's like -17, but it feels like -35, and it's March, and it's almost spring, and I'm over it. Okay.
Preseason baseball has started in Arizona and Florida.
Cool.
This, for me, is the turning point that winter is on its way out. And they've started broadcasting games on TV. So baseball is well underway, and so they're working out who's going to be on the rosters and all that kind of stuff. So this time of year always makes me happy. So baseball's almost here.
I'll be happy when it's like 30 degrees outside.
In the annex, Batman Funny Annex here in the suburbs of Chicago, it's about 21, and I don't know what the wind chill is, but it's right below freezing, which is about normal-ish for the Chicago area at this time, but there's like a possibility all week long of intermittent snow. It's March in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to snow tomorrow.
It's been not unknown for it to snow on my birthday, and my birthday's in the second week of April. So it's not uncommon it's happened to see snow in April in Chicago.
Shoot, so what are we going to do for your 65th birthday this year?
Oh, get me a cane, or actually a walker.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck. And just chop off my fucking legs at the knee and just let me get some artificials and go on with my life. If I didn't have my knees, my back would be dealable, but both at the same time sucks. So my knees are super bad, especially my left one. So, yeah, life sucks. This is what happens when 20 years in the Navy and 12 on steel decks do to your body. They fuck you up.
I was trying to be fun. What fun birthday.
No. We get like fun birthday parties at the VFW all the time, where somebody will bring like gag gifts in. Hey, happy birthday, old fucker. You know, shit like that. I'm going to be running another Dungeons and Dragons adventure soon.
Oh, nice. So,
yeah, this is a remake of a classic dungeon crawl. This is Lost Tomb of the Sphinx Queen for character levels 14 and 15. So, high-level adventure for myself and some of my other guys. So,
nice.
Yeah. Actually, we have one lady. One of the guys actually got married like last year, so his wife plays. Well, she rolls a die occasionally, and she doesn't really understand the mechanics yet. So it's complicated.
Yeah.
So, but I told her, I'm like, the basic rule is that everything else is role play until you do something that you might fail at, and then you roll the die. Yeah. So that's how it is. Everything else other than that is role play and trying to figure shit out. So
pretty much. I need to start a campaign here in North Dakota. I have like one interested person. Well, I have a bunch of interested kids. Like I might start like a youth campaign at work. I don't know, but it's gonna have to be simple because we can't sit around for 3 hours at a time. It's gonna have to be like 1 hour increments, and I don't know. I'll just have to simplify something.
Yeah, the thing is like you're gonna have to do like pre-gen characters too for something like that.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have a lot of people who are just not gonna understand shit.
I
And
know.
so you're gonna have to do like a lot of fighters, a lot of clerics, that kind of stuff, you know, like
Yeah, I don't know if it already exists or like whatever. I'm just gonna like super simplify D&D and just like we're not even gonna use most of like the rule books and everything. I'm just gonna be like, you can be this. This is what you can do, and you just roll a d20, and that's about it.
actually I might be able to help you with that.
Okay.
So I might be able to help you with that. Yeah, there's a thing out there where they really simplify Dungeons and Dragons, and so I'll see if I can find it. I was playing a while ago, but somehow the game stopped going. So, but
Cool.
yeah, so if there's something simple, I think I can send you a PDF.
Nice.
So I'll have to look. But yeah, it's if I remember, it was super simple,
Sweet.
simplified. I can talk her to good today.
English.
So what's going on, Eric? How's work?
Work. There's a lot going on. So like one, we just took a big 3-day trip to Bismarck, which is the capital of North Dakota, and it's 3 hours west of where I'm at in Fargo, because Fargo's right on the border with Minnesota. And it's like literally just a straight shot, flat highway, just go for 3 hours and you're there.
So a little bit of left and right, a little bit of up and down, but mostly straight shot, huh?
Pretty much, and it's just all flat and white right now.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous. But so we went out there for a work thing, and I actually got to know some of my coworkers better because I only interact with a few of mine like daily because we work together on the same team. But that was really nice. And I showed everyone my dick tattoo because we went swimming. And that was fun. But I spent time educating people on like trans stuff, which I already did around the office some, but like just to more a bigger extent. And that was really cool. And we went to dinner, like me and 6 of my closest coworkers. We went to dinner and I told this story. Well, one, I was the only one not drinking. So guess who got to fucking drive? Hello. Always me. I was like, everybody else was like Long Island iced teas because they were $2. And I was like, can I get a blackberry lemonade? Thank you.
$2 Long Island iced teas?
Yeah, they had that for the special that night. And I spent
Holy
$4 on a
shit.
blackberry lemonade. I was like, $4. That's fucking stupid.
I don't know but about a lot of other people, but yeah, I would have imbibed heavily on $2 Long Island iced teas.
Yeah, so, they all had like 3 or so 4, I don't know. A lot.
I'll tell you a story in a minute related to Long Island, but finish your story.
But so yeah, and then actually I thought of you about the Long Island iced teas because you had told that a story about them before.
Yeah.
Like so I definitely thought of you.
Is that the one where did I tell you that story, or was that offline or online?
I'm pretty sure it was on the podcast.
Okay. So I don't want to tell the story again, but I drank like 12 of them in like 2 hours.
That's a lot.
It was. I was super drunk. Anyways.
Anyway, so then, all right. So I told them all this story that I'm about to tell you. All right. So for my birthday last year, some of my friends got me a $100 gift card to baddragon.com, which is just like a weird sex toy shop. It's not weird. It's just different sex toy online shop. And they have like different animal type looking penises. Like they have dragon penises and unicorn penises and whatever else.
I hope the edges aren't sharp.
No, they're not sharp.
Yikes.
And they also have like wolf penises, which are weird, and horse penises, like all of them dildos, which I think like I support it. Whatever, do what you want to do. Anyway, so they just have
as long as nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, so they just have a bunch of like interesting toys, and so they got me a $100 gift card, and they hand make all of the toys, and customize them, so you can pick the color and like whatever.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Anyway, yeah. So I ordered one that was, I think it was a dragon one, I don't know. And I got glow in the dark blue, so that's exciting. And also, you can either get like a suction cup on the back, like standard dildo thing, or this thing called a cum tube, and it's just like this tube that goes through it, and they have cum lube, and you can like push the cum lube through and then make it look like it's coming. It's like an exciting thing that I had fun with. Anyway, so I ordered this. That's not even the funny part. I ordered this online, right? Finally. And I can't receive packages here unless it's the USPS, because they're the only ones that have a key into the door. So like FedEx can't bring packages inside, and we don't have like a doorbell or anything to ring.
Can't you used to have them sent to work?
Okay, my fucking work, they open the mail, so if they opened a dildo, that would just be the funniest thing ever.
Get a post office box.
A what?
A post office box.
Oh yeah. Well, no. So here's where the funny part comes in. So they can't deliver packages here. So if unless you're like weirdly standing outside waiting for your package all day, I don't know. But then it got sent to a gas station. It was a pickup spot for my boxes.
Wow.
So I went to the gas station to pick up my dildo. So it is now a gas station dildo, and it makes me die. And when I went in to pick it up, it's in this like rectangular long box, like kind of dildo shaped, and the fucking the sticker says silicone sculpture. I was like, that is not discreet enough for me.
Silicone sculpture. So did you take it out and beat the gas station attendant over the head with it or something?
Oh my God, no. I was just like, this is a lot.
Silicone sculpture.
Anyway, so now I have that story about a gas station dildo.
You have a story about a gas station dildo. Yes, you do.
So yeah, I told that to my coworkers, and it was a great time. And also, sorry to keep talking about dicks, but I love it. No. So gotta gay it up. But I was talking to this guy. So okay, this guy lives above me. If he ever listens to my podcast, this is gonna be weird. But he lives above me, right above me in my apartment. And we met on Grindr. And Grindr's a gay dating app, if you don't know. Kind of a hookup app too. But anyway, so it tells you how far away someone is, like amount of feet. So obviously and it's not always super accurate, like, oh, they're 10 feet away, but it's like really close. And he's like, do you live in my building? And I was like, yeah, I guess, like it would appear so. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm in the one right above you. I saw you go in your apartment the other day. And I was like, that's so weird. So anyway.
Oh my God.
But we haven't talked in person yet. Anyway, but I put a heart balloon on his door after Valentine's Day because we had a bunch at work. So I just brought it home and put it on his door. And then he never told me his name, but for some reason I thought he told me his name was Zach. And he was like, you must have gotten me, like, easy mix up. You must have gotten me confused with Zac Efron. I understand. And then he fucking signs. I was like, wow, I really would love some an autograph from you then, if you're that like big of a deal, you know. And so he fucking makes an autograph to my biggest fan, Eric.
Oh yeah,
he signs it. And
awesome.
You put that on my door.
Zac Efron, yeah. Awesome.
I know. I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. And then I put like a little note on his door, just being like really nice and stuff. So yeah, it's really cute what's happening. And I don't really know where I was going with this. Oh, I remember now. I remember now.
Okay.
So anyway, sad story though. Okay, so in the gay community, you're probably either a top or a bottom. You can also be verse, which means both, right? So we're kind of like both bottoms, although I'm venturing into the topping world, but it's just like this scary thing for me because I don't have a penis anyway. But yeah, so we're both bottoms. And I was like, well, guess what? I have an awesome harness. It was $160. I'm just throwing this all out there for the world, you know. $160 harness. So I have that, and I was like, we could do like a BYOD.
Awesome.
Oh, I know.
Awesome.
Anyway.
That was probably one of the funniest things I've heard all week. That was fucking funny. That was fucking funny.
Legit. Anyway, so BYOD, everybody.
BYOD. Oh my god. I have to say that's got to be one of the funniest fucking things I've heard all week.
Whew, I should be a stand-up comic. I'm saying.
So I saw this video. Apparently, somebody on a moped. Speaking of dicks, apparently somebody on a moped, because people on mopeds can be assholes. You know, like they cut in front of cars and all kinds of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm of two minds on this. Tell me what you think. So apparently, this person on a moped was. I'm sorry, Marble just attacked Cooper. Just they're wrestling right in front of me. I might get a bit distracted. Anyways, so the guy in the car, the passenger seat, rolls down the window. They get next to this person who had just pulled in front of him. He takes out like a rubber dildo and puts it on that person's helmet. Like, donk! Like, look like a fucking unicorn.
Wow.
I have questions.
I have a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions. They only showed the moped as getting out of the way. They don't show like what the initiating circumstance was. So possibly could have been that they were just being assholes to be assholes in the car. Entire possibility. But they drive up next, and the person is like, "What are you doing?" Kind of like looking at him, and then he reaches out and it puts this dildo, you know, like this white rubber, like looked like a standard like 6-8 inch dildo, right on top of this person's helmet, like right on the forehead. Looked like a fucking unicorn. My first question is, one, why didn't the mopedist do something when the car started pacing next to him? Two, why did the people in the car have a fucking dildo to begin with and ready to put onto somebody's helmet?
Ready to go.
I'm just saying there's questions, but I just thought that the dick on the helmet was kind of funny and at the same time really evocative and broke up and had a lot of questions that were attached to it.
Yeah.
Those are at least the top two that just came into my head.
I would say that's probably not the best thing to do unless you're friends, and hopefully they're friends or at least know each other or something.
Yeah.
If you're friends, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's just throw a dildo on my helmet. I don't know.
And then after that, I would leave it there, but that would just be me because that would be fucking funny to see somebody driving a moped down the street with a fucking dildo attached to their fucking helmet like a unicorn.
Yeah,
that's
I like
fucking
that.
funny. That's funny. That's funny.
I like it. I'd do it.
I'm just saying. I saw this video and I'm like, I have questions.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah, if that's just like a weird random occurrence, like I don't know. Why?
Depending on where you live in like parts of Chicago or New York City or something, I don't know. New York's gun laws are stricter than Chicago's, but like there is a chance, depending on where you live in Chicago, that you could have been shot at by the person driving the moped. I'm just saying. I mean, depending on who it was and where you were, I mean, people are just, I don't know. I just think that people are just seem to be meaner today than they were even a few years ago. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So does anybody out in our audience that might be listening, they have any suggestions or comments on any of that? We'd like to hear them.
BYOD.
BYOD.
We haven't had like a funny title in a while, and I feel like
that's
we
our
got
title.
it now.
Yeah, that's our title, without a doubt. So the stuff that I want to talk about here, maybe in the last little bit, is, granted, I don't really watch Trump speak directly. I hear him in sound bites because that's literally the only way I can take him, like 1 minute at a time at most. And so I find all of this like super illuminating. Who was it? One of the guys who was in the Justice Department. Of course, I bring him up and his name escapes me. But he released a book this week and Trump fired his ass. So he released a book saying that they were going to Article 25 his ass because he's basically an incompetent. And so that was something that was talked about. I want to listen to his book. I want to get it on audiobook and listen to it. It'll be interesting. Mueller, of course, is still doing his thing. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. Stuff that's still developing. And Representative Waters from California, Maxine Waters from California, has basically said directly that she's going to go for Trump's tax returns. And so they're in the process of doing that. The big thing, of course, is Michael Cohen and his testimony to the Senate, basically apologizing for lying, and then brought a signed check proving the Stormy Daniels allegations and the election fraud. You can't pay somebody money to silence somebody during an election that might influence the election. That's an on its face violation of election law. And of course, the Trumpkins that are out there, the people who still support Trump for God knows what fucking reason, if you have any kind of a rational brain that's not deluded, or that you're not stuck in a political bent, if you see things in a logical, reasoned way, there's no way you can support Trump. I just don't see it. But anyways, they're like, oh, well, he was lying. He lied to Congress, so why can we trust him now? Well, he was lying to Congress to protect Trump. That's the whole point. And he's already been sentenced. So anything, and he's turned down book deals. So he's refused like all offers so far of money for any books or something like that. So, he has nothing to lose or to gain by telling the truth, or what he sees as the truth. So, and so far it's proved, it seems to prove every negative allegation out there. And so, and then Paul Manafort in Washington, D.C., I was watching some news last night, or Friday, and they're basically saying that Trump, Manafort's lawyers are basically like, oh, well, he's literally an altar boy, so you need to go easy on him and that kind of stuff. This is setting the groundwork, some people say, for Trump to do a pardon of Manafort federally. But that's not going to stop where he's been convicted in New York court, and he's going back to New York court. So he's still going to jail. Manafort is fucked. And so, and he did that fake, oh, I'm going to cooperate, but was actually turning, they say, or it's been said that he was turning stuff over to the president and his lawyers to, to have them see what's going on behind the scenes. You can't do that. So I'm just saying, all of this is bad, and it seems to be proving everything that has been reported about Trump so far. And I don't know, I just don't see how anybody can still support Trump to this day. I just don't see it. The conservatives the religious conservatives who support him. He's a glutton. He lusts. He has literally done all of the 7 sins, cheated on all of his wives, and gotten other women pregnant while he was still married to the previous wife, and then has cheated on all his wives multiple times. And so, you know, it's like, this guy is literally the worst person out there. And so, and did you see that in the CPAC conference, he hugged a flag the other day? He hugged an American flag. Oh, I love this U.S. flag so much.
Wow.
And they cheered.
People are really fucking stupid.
I think that's part of it, and I also think that they're fucking super brainwashed.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. But
I'm just saying, I mean, definitely the stupid goes part of it too. I don't know. Some might be, but I actually think that a lot of people, considering today that you have, if you're listening to this podcast, you have the knowledge of humanity at your fingertips, and if you don't use it, you're choosing to be ignorant.
mm-hmm.
So the only way that you're listening to Eric and I speak ever is through the internet. And if you have the internet, you have the entirety of human knowledge you can get access to. And if you can't understand what laws Trump is breaking, I don't know how much I can help you. You can't reason with that level of cognitive dissonance. You can't. This honestly seems like when it took me all those years to break out of Christianity. It took years and repeated exposure to logic and reason and rationalism to break me out of it. And not one individual is going to make somebody go, huh, you're right. I think for most people, and most people who came out of it like I did, it was over the course of time.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that this is the same thing, but I'm also, generally speaking, an optimist, and I'm hoping that I'm still trying to see the good in people instead of that there are people who will never break out of their programming. Never. Never. And they will never see the light, ever. It's funny because, like, I still have friends who are Trump supporters and that kind of stuff. And, you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, you can't make me believe the same things you do. And it's just like, I'm not trying to get you to believe anything. I'm trying to get you to see logic and reason. You can still have your beliefs in a God if you want to. But it just seems like those conservatives here in America, that their political views are tied up into Christianity.
Yeah, I think it's hard to changing anything is hard, obviously.
Yeah.
And people are comfortable where they're at, and if something challenges that comfort, they are just going to stick in stage 1 of the grief process and live in denial.
Or they'll get mad about it, and I've seen
or
that
go to
a
anger.
lot. Yeah.
Denial and anger, going back to denial, then getting angry, going back to denial, getting angry. And it's just, you have to work through the rest of the process and learn and grow. And that's the hard part of literally anything.
I've been an atheist now for about 10 years. And I've gotten death threats over the course of time. But I've received more in the last 2 years than I have in the other 8 preceding. And I just got one a couple of days ago. Another one. Somebody threatened my life again. And I'm like, okay, just because I'm a liberal atheist doesn't mean I don't have a weapon possibly on me, and I will put 2 rounds in your 10 ring. I will do it. So I'm just saying, I mean, You got these conservative Christians, these guys who are like, oh, well, all liberal atheists are pussies, or all liberals or all atheists are lumped together, because not all liberals are atheists. Not even close. So I'm just saying, I mean, I see this shit all the time where it's like, I don't want to say it's all Republicans, because it's not all Republicans. I know people who are conservative who don't hold hardline views. So it's hard to keep myself from making that distinction too, because it's not all that or all this.
Right.
I'm just saying. So, but I'm seeing that kind of violent rhetoric, and it's just like, I don't have to argue with anybody over anything for any time. It's just like, I'll say something and they'll say something back, and I'm like, you know something, dude, fuck you. I don't have to argue. And they're like, oh, typical Democrat who wants to, cuss at you. You got the IQ of 10. And I'm like, really? Coming from the guy who's mocked a reporter who was at the start of his thing, and then a week ago, as we're recording this, did the 5-year-old or 10-year-old glasses thing. He did this.
I know, I saw that.
You're calling me a 10-year-old when your president, who is 73, makes fun of people with glasses, who, as I heard, people with glasses or use some form of corrective lenses is almost 60% of the country.
Yeah.
60% use some kind of corrective lenses. So not only is he attacking liberals and Democrats, but he's also attacking a good chunk of Republicans and conservatives and the fucking libertarians. Hey, Eric, what do you think about libertarians? I want to get off of Trump. What do you think about libertarians? People who are too conservative to be liberals and too liberals to be conservative.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about what libertarians do. The idea that you can have both conservative and liberal ideas, I like, because I do hold some of both, just mostly liberal. But I like some conservative ideas. But I would just say I'm a liberal probably, because the way our society functions says conservatives don't like abortion and want you to get yourself up out of poverty and work really hard and blah blah blah, and then liberals are like, we should help people and people should control their bodies and equality is great. So along those lines, obviously I'm on that one. I think we're very binary in how we look at it, but if we look deeper than what people just really vote on, they vote on those fucking things. They vote on abortion, they vote on LGBT stuff. Like, they don't look a lot deeper a lot of the time because they don't have to. So, but if you look deeper, I think that it makes a lot of sense that most people would actually hold views on both sides.
I find that most people tend to be 1 or 2 issue voters.
Yeah.
Most people tend to be 1 or 2 issue voters. I know that there's a couple of issues like, I don't know. In some ways, I see myself as more aligning towards the Green Party than I do the Democratic Party, because, and then oh man, the fucking Greens, the leadership of the Greens piss me off because, well, let's face it, fucking Jill Stein is weird. Okay, she's weird, and so she holds a lot of crackpot fucking ideas that I'm just like, what the fuck? But at the same time, that if we don't do something about global warming, none of the rest of this will ever fucking matter. And according to some of the things that we've heard now, that we've only got, 10 or 12 years to do something before it's going to get to the point where there's literally nothing we can do anymore. And so, I first started hearing about the ozone layer when I was a young child. Okay. And so they stopped CFCs and they use other propellants and hairspray. And considering the fucking volumes like growing up, like in the 80s, the girls had with their fucking hair and guys with the fucking spikes and all kind of, the 80s were bad for the ozone layer. Just everybody had just fucking weird ass hair. It just, that's the way it seemed anyways. And then even like the normal people fucking still hairsprayed their shit down so it didn't fucking move and it was like a rock. I mean, I think if you're in your 20s, you pretty much did that. I did. I didn't want my hair to move. So I had my style and I fucking gelled it and sprayed it so it fucking stayed that way. Kept that wet look, you know, like I just got out of the shower look. I had about 4 inches on the top and it kind of went back a little bit and then kind of stayed up about an inch and then went straight, it kind of back on an angle. I gelled that shit like that and then sprayed it down while it was still wet to keep it the wet look all night. Anyways, yeah, it was the 20s and I wasn't allowed to have much hair. My 20s and I wasn't allowed to have much hair because I didn't have hair. Anyways, but they changed out those. They changed out the air conditioning refrigerants and got better refrigerants and stuff that's less harmful. But all of that stuff does damage. All the coal plants do damage. All the use of oil does damage. Everything that we do in a lot of ways, the amount, not only overpopulation, but what's more important is overconsumption does damage. And so you've got like grocery stores, like all the grocery stores, like all over the United States, they will put out a lot of pieces just so they can sell about half of them. And if there's 1 or 2 pieces of fruit left, nobody will buy them because they think that there's something wrong with them. No, it's just that everything else is sold out. And even though these pieces might be fine, the idea is that, oh, there might be something wrong with it. So 99% of people will walk past it and not buy that last piece of fruit. And then that piece of fruit that we spend a lot of money for herbicides, pesticides, water, all that stuff, let alone all the gene modifications that go into all of our food and all that kind of stuff that costs money to do, gets thrown in the fucking garbage. So it all went to waste. It doesn't even go into like a yard or something like that, into like, so it's nitrogens and that kind of stuff and go back into the soil to get new stuff growing. It goes to a fucking landfill where it all goes and dies because nothing escapes the landfills. I'm just saying it. Not only is overpopulation a problem, but overconsumption is a problem. I don't know.
I have a lot to say about that topic.
Please.
Like a lot, and I don't think I'm going to even remember everything I want to say about it right now. But, all right. So, as someone that studied geology, I think I have a different view of the world, kind of, than like the average person. So when you study geology and biology and look at the history of the earth, you see all of the changes that happen. You see all of the extinctions. You see all of the global warming, the global cooling, all of the reinforced systems that just make our world function. You see everything. You see the plate tectonics and the mountain building and the everything. You see everything, okay? And you see that species die, and it's just really normal. All right. So, yes, I am 100% behind stopping global warming as much as we can. I'm 100% behind being environmentally friendly. I think that in America, especially, and in like other first world nations, we're very materialistic. We want a lot of stuff. We want a lot of space. We want big things. We want things that are bad for the environment. We want like the biggest, best car and the biggest, best house and fill it up with plastic and bullshit that we don't actually need. We want to run as much electricity as possible, and most of that electricity is not renewable, etc., etc. Drives me crazy. I try to live a relatively minimalist life. I know there's something that I could do better. Life is hard though. So I commend anybody doing anything they can, including like recycling and just buying less stuff. We don't fucking need that much stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Etc. So do what you can. But again, like global warming, natural. We are speeding it up a lot. I'm not saying humans aren't doing that. Humans are 100% doing that. But it's happened before. It's going to happen again. And the only difference now is humans are here and we're going to be affected by it. And that's all we care about because we're trying to protect our species. And the biggest problem with this is like, what is it? Like 70% of our cities, like our biggest cities, are fucking near the ocean. Dumb. Really dumb. Like it's a good thing because like we need the ocean for like trade and food, etc. But the problem is the seas are gonna rise. Like 70% of the fucking world's population is gonna have to move inland, and that's gonna be ridiculous and really difficult to manage. So yeah, it's gonna be catastrophic for humans if we don't get ahead of it and start moving people and start getting used to the idea that we're not going to have these places, and it's going to suck. It's going to be sad culturally. It's going to be sad economically, and it's going to displace a lot of people. And honestly, we just have to get ahead of it. In my opinion, no one's going to fucking do that. I know I'm not in charge of the world. I'm just saying that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And we should also be controlling population. We should be like, that's a really tough thing, like morally to say, but we need to quit fucking having kids. We need to limit the kids you have. You can adopt all the kids you fucking want, but I think you shouldn't have more than 2 kids per uterus. I don't know. Probably less than that. I'm not going to have one, I don't think, not because I'm trans, because I've thought about wanting kids, but because it's bad for the world and we have way too many people. And if we had less people, we could be doing the same thing, having the same practices, and fucking the world up a lot less. I think we should change our practices, have less people, and get ahead of it while we can, because it's going to be a catastrophe in the next 50 years.
I see idiocracy because people like you and I have decided for various reasons not to have kids. I never got there with my first wife, but at the same time, I've never really had that burning desire. Yeah, I want a child. I've never really felt, it's just never been like, yeah, I want a kid. I just never really felt that burning desire to have them. I just haven't. I don't know what else to say. And I know that there are people out there who's like, man, my kid's completely great. I get that. But, you need to have something else to complete who you are. I think that says more about you than not having a child does. Anyways, so I get that. But, like, you've got these people out there, like, I saw an episode of Maury. Like, I love this show. It's a fucking train wreck. I realize it. It's junk TV. You turn your mind off and watch the idiocy just happen. And this guy who was on there recently had 14 fucking kids.
Yeah.
14 fucking kids. And it's like, is this guy doing anything for his children at all? Of course not. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not being any kind of father to him. He's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know with 14 kids that this guy doesn't make any kind of money to support his kids financially. I get that. But at the same time, he could be there occasionally to be in their lives. Excuse me. He's not, and never will be, and hasn't been.
I need to reiterate what I said, or change what I said. I said 2 kids per uterus. I should also say 2 kids per sperm donor too.
Yeah, because it's not.
A limit.
Yeah. Like, I finally found who my father was. Found out through DNA, like when I had my DNA done, like last year. And so, last time I saw him, I was 14 years old, and he has never been a part of my life. And so, I will talk to my now sister, who's now like 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, after he dies, because I don't know. My father is not a good man. And so I don't want to talk to him. And I don't have 100% security that if I go to talk to his wife, on the computer that I'm not talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I want nothing to do with my dad. Not all parents are good. And I think it's great that when people are like, oh, I love my mom, I love my dad, they're the best people in the world. I think it's awesome if you've got it like that. My family was shit, and I'm sorry that it was shit, but there's nothing I can do about it. And I haven't talked to my mother in 15 years. I've said 10 words to her in 15 years. A lot of people will give me shit for it, but she's not a nice person. And so I don't have a problem with this. I'm just saying is that there's stuff that we can do. Like, I agree with you about this, the overpopulation is for sure. But I think not only is the overpopulation a problem, but it's overconsumption as well, too. Like, yeah, I think I'm really starting to like not want all of the stuff in the world. I don't want like the big 5-bedroom house anymore. I don't want that. I'm not. It's to me, it's pointless. You know, 2 bedrooms, a decent sized living room, and maybe an eat-in kitchen. You know, that's all most people need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just, I'm
Yeah,
just,
no, like,
I'm just saying that a lot of people have these big, huge ass houses, 3, 4 stories, 3 and 4 bedrooms, and they don't even utilize half of it. Half of the rooms go unused for days at a time, and I think it's pointless.
yeah, I know, I agree. I honestly, that's like, while I'm living in America and stuff, I have my computer, I have my bed, I have my TV, like I have the standard American stuff, but I have a car. I don't like this lifestyle very much. You can't really change it a lot in America because
No,
that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what everybody wants, what everybody has, and what you need to feel like comfortable and part of society, right? Like, if you're fucking walking everywhere, people look down on you. If you're fucking taking the bus, unless you're in like a giant city, people are like, yeah, they're probably homeless. And that's, I mean, most of the people on the bus are like homeless. They're struggling here. So
and we need to stop money shaming people who take the bus and that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
it's true.
Um,
Like, I used to take the bus when I wasn't homeless. I wasn't homeless. I was living in an apartment. I would take the bus to school. Like, it's a normal thing. It's there. It's better for the environment. It's better for your fucking wallet, etc. But like, I don't know. I really just I don't like this lifestyle. I don't like our culture around stuff, and I can't change it. And I think that's really one of the things that draws me to living to developing countries is they live a much slower paced lifestyle. They're much less stressed out. Yes, they struggle for like food security sometimes. They struggle for shelter sometimes, depending on where you're at. But a lot of the people there, they're so happy with what they have. They don't have much and they're so happy and they just work for what they have, and no one looks down on other people, like the majority of people in my experience, for not having a lot, and everybody's just there together. And that's one of the things that's like drawing me to go to a developing country and live and teach and work. And that's what I want to do in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And granted, I understand that there are drawbacks to that. Like, they don't have good medical care. I couldn't get like top surgery there in a lot of those places. I couldn't get testosterone maybe in a lot of those places, and things like that. But if we could combine somehow like our like technological advances, our medical care in like developed countries, and renewable energy and things like that, with a slower pace of life, and like working on with the land and shit, and not looking down on people that do that. If we could combine all of this, I think we would be great. You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. I understand what you're trying to say. Like when I was living in Spain, we on the base, a lot of us used to call Spain the land of mañana, which mañana is Spanish for tomorrow. And so it's like, hey, we need to do this. And the Spanish guy you were talking to or whatever would be like, mañana, mañana. And so, you know, I understood at an intellectual level the reason why the Spanish have the siesta. Okay. They go to lunch at like 2 o'clock to like 6. Like everything closes. At least that where I lived, everything closed from like 2 o'clock. It was like the doors shut like promptly at 2. Get the hell out. It's 2 o'clock. And like a lot of businesses, like a lot of like some stores didn't reopen, but some of them did. But they reopened at 6 and then were open till like 8. But a lot of the restaurants and bars didn't open until like 8 o'clock at night minimum. But then it wasn't uncommon to see whole families in a restaurant at 10, 11 o'clock at night sitting down and having a nice meal with 25 plates of tapas in front of them. Tapas is it's not like a plate for, it's not a plate for like one, it's a smaller one. And it's like a bunch of things like on the plate. Like, so if I order like calamari, for instance, or whatever, right? They'll be like, for one person, it wouldn't be enough. But if you get like 3 or 4 people and everybody orders 2 or 3 plates of tapas, you take a little bit off of each plate, you get a nice meal and you get to sample a lot of everything. And like, I rarely see a table with these Spanish families where I was living at, where they took a lot of food home. It just didn't happen. They ordered in what they ate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of extra. But I'm just saying, I mean, so you'd see kids at 10 o'clock at night with their families sitting around. It was the slower lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's pretty common in Europe to have 3 and 4 week vacations a month or a year. It's like, oh, well, it's like, oh, well, when is this person going to be back? A month from now, they're on vacation. And so you won't see them for a month. So they'll go someplace.
Right.
And so
I need a lifestyle like that, is all I'm saying.
Their standard of living in some ways was lower than us. But they had smaller cars. Spain's actually healthcare was actually pretty decent, at least as far as the Spaniard living there. I'm just saying, I mean, it was different, and I'm not saying it was better, but it was different. Like I've downgraded my car. Like when I got my car, I got it like it was my first new car right after I got back from Iraq in 03. And it was a 4.6 liter V8. And this thing was awesome. And I literally drove the car. I had the car for over 15 years. And so I bought a new car a couple of months ago. And it's a 2.2 liter V4. It's half the cylinders and a third of the CCs. And so it gets way better gas mileage. And so it's like, I'm trying to do better myself, And so I'm not having to top off my tank. I'm now filling up with gas like once a week instead of every 3 days. Do you know what I'm saying? Because running the air conditioner on your car sucks up a lot of gas. And so I don't have to do that. So it takes less fuel. I'm just saying, maybe this rambling thing is led somewhere. I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, overall the saying, I don't want the big house. I've downgraded a lot. I don't want a whole lot of stuff. And like, most people don't do DVDs or CDs anymore. It's all downloaded music onto an iPod or an iPhone or whatever, or whatever listening device that you have. Most people are using their cell phones nowadays. But I'm just saying, it's like everything is digital, which is good because we're not making more stuff. Yeah. In some ways. I mean, we're not making DVDs. I went to a swap meet yesterday. And do you know what one of the VHS tapes that I saw there, like a place was selling like old VHS tapes. I saw Atari 2600 cassettes, like the first Atari, like the Missile Command and Tank Commander and all that. Anyways, but I saw Mad Max on VHS and I laughed out loud. And I'm like, an apocalyptic movie, a movie post-apocalyptic on VHS, and we're in the middle of a global warming crisis with a mass extinction going
on.
Oh, did you hear this? I thought it was interesting. Is that Kenya? If you get caught poaching in Kenya, they're going to give you the death penalty.
I saw that. That made me happy. That's a weird statement. I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not 100% happy with the death penalty.
I'm glad they're doing something about it.
I'm glad. Yes, exactly. I know that we here in the U.S. The death penalty is a broken system, and I hope it's less broken in Africa. That's a weird statement I just said, but I don't have any confidence in that at all. I'm just saying I have, but at least there's something on the books where they can say we're trying to do something. And I don't know about you, but like when I see like people who get mauled by tigers or lions when they're out there hunting, I giggle.
Yeah.
I do. I got to admit, I have a bit of a laugh. Now, maybe it's a bit cruel. I don't care. I find it kind of funny when a hunter in Africa gets fucked up. I almost see it as karma, even though I know karma doesn't exist, but it's super funny to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just question why they're doing that. I don't understand what draws people to that.
I understand food hunting. I get food hunting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like hunting for deer and then you keep the head because it's got a nice rack of antlers on it. I get that. You're gonna eat the meat. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
a lot of places that you go, hey, I need you to clean my deer. They'll say, do you want to keep the head and or the antlers? Yes or no. And if you say yes, they'll prep it for you for the taxidermist, but you'll still get the meat from the rest of the body.
I will. So in Zambia, I went to like this protected park. I can't think of what it's called right now, but it's a protected safari park thing, and people could pay a lot of money to hunt certain animals, right? So it varied. The price varied by the kind of animal you want to hunt. Like a baboon was like, I don't know, $600 because there's a million fucking baboons, right? And then like an elephant, I think was like $8,000, and a rhinoceros was like $10,000. So like the ones that you really shouldn't be hunting as much cost a lot more money, and that's what helps the park stay a protected sanctuary, right? That's what helps keep it running, is people paying to hunt there and people paying to go see the animals there, etc. But like it's like I don't know. And they did say that the people that hunt, so like say someone hunts an elephant, right? They pay to hunt an elephant. Then the elephant meat goes to the nearby villages and feeds them. I think it's fucked up to do trophy hunting, but at least if it functions that way, you can understand it a little better, I guess. That maybe sometimes it's okay. Like, I think no one should hunt endangered species. That's fucking stupid. Why are you gonna go hunt a fucking rhinoceros when there's like no rhinoceroses left?
Yeah. Well,
I
the
don't know.
black rhinoceros, was it the black rhinoceros? I just saw something on my Facebook timeline the other week. Like 3 or 4 years ago was officially declared extinct. And so it's like, congratulations, hunters, you've killed a rhinoceros.
Yeah, and a lot of that too is poaching just for the ivory, obviously.
And Chinese medicine has done a lot of funky shit, like fucking, like what was the joke? There was a movie where it's like antelope antler for like penis pills or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, crazy shit. It's like, um, turtle soup, is a thing, and it's not good. Everybody who I've ever heard who's had like either like turtle soup or shark fin soup, especially shark fin soup. Gordon Ramsay tried shark fin soup and he said, it's just bland. It's just not good. And so this is supposed to be like the best restaurant to get it in. And he's like, it just wasn't good. Don't get it. And so like species of sharks have been killed almost to extinction because of shark fin soup. And it's just like, we as humans, I think that the big deal is like, we are the first species to understand what's going on around with our world and the first one to do something about changing it, that we can affect our outcomes to some extent. And even now, because we've developed some minimal space travel, very minimal space travel, that we can possibly do stuff about like extinction events like the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs and that kind of stuff. But it's like, then we've got to get ahead of everything else because all the other shit that we're doing is literally killing us. It's like smoking. You know, it's like I quit smoking 10 years ago. And so the reason why I quit is because I knew my health was being affected. And that's why I quit smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we do the same thing? People are just, they want their, what was it? Aaron Ra had said that the oceans are basically fished out.
Yeah.
That there's not much in the way of fish left in the ocean right now. And the conservation that we and some of the other maritime communities are doing are helping, but still our appetite for the fillet of fish has basically decimated the planet of fish. And so, you know, we're killing all of these things by just moving populations of animals away from, like, because there's so many of us.
Yeah.
There's so many people. I don't know.
Maybe that comes back to fucking having less babies and having less people. You know, it all circles back. So let's end on some fucked up Trump shit.
Yeah, because I'm tired of talking about this. I'm depressed.
Yeah, I think that I just want to say one last thing. Like, the world's gone through this before. The world's going to go through this again. Whether or not humans go extinct, the world's going to be fine.
Yeah, the world will keep rotating until the sun goes red giant and we end up swimming in a corona. Well, at least the Earth will go swimming in a corona. I like honestly
50 billion years, so
like at least a couple of billion years from now. What do they say? Was that I heard that we've got only 22 galactic years until the Earth's sun goes red giant. So only 22 years from now. It's about 6 billion years. But only 22 galactic years until the sun goes red giant and kills us all. So act now. There's only 22 more years.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I honestly think that some humans will survive for a long time, but we're going to be deeply diminished as far as like population goes because the planet Earth is just going to say fuck you at some point. And she's saying it now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I still think that some humans will survive, but who knows how many and where and how. I'm just what humanity will look like after possibly one of these events. So, a good TV show is Life After People.
Yeah.
Or Life After Humans. Oh, that's actually a really cool TV show.
It is cool.
Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about some Trump. Let's do some Trump stuff here.
Okay.
So, anyways, I just want to go on a good note. And something I would do like when I was drinking. Eric, I love you, man.
I love you, bro.
All right. So,
man, it's so cool that we met and we have a podcast, you know? It's really fucking cool.
It really is super fucking cool. And we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary.
I know.
We're doing this soon. Holy shit.
It's crazy.
Anyways, crazy.
We're slightly over the number for one every 2 weeks. All right. Anyway.
Scathing Atheist started as an every 2 week podcast. Just saying.
Yeah, we don't have to be perfect.
Okay, so for those who don't know about this,
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, I will say 2 quotes and Eric will guess which one is Trump. One will be Trump and one will be somebody else. And I will give you my best Trump impersonation.
Here we go.
Here we go. I would like to wish everyone, including all the haters and losers, of which sadly there are many, a truly happy and enjoyable Memorial Day. Quote number 1. Quote number 2. Boom! Crush! Night losers! Winning! Duh! Quote 2.
I think it's number 1.
Yeah, without a doubt it was number 1. Talking about Happy Memorial Day to his haters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
I feel like I remember that.
He's so presidential. He's so presidential. That was card number 1. And you guessed it. It was quote number 1 was Trump. The other one was Charlie Sheen.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Winning. Okay. Quote number 1, card 2. Hillary is a smart, tough, and very nice person. Quote number 1. Quote number 2. Brittany would make a much better prostitute than Christina. She's thicker.
Fuck. Number 2. He didn't call Hillary nice, right? Maybe
You're saying number 2?
I don't know. I don't know who. Yeah, sure.
Which one? Number 1 or number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2 was Snoop Dogg.
Oh. Well.
Number 1 was Trump. He said that she was smart, tough, and a very nice person. And then went on to say some horrible shit about her.
Yeah.
So, okay. Quote number 1 for card 3. So far, you're 1 and 1. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get your average over 50%. So you're either going to be at 66 or 33. So, come on, Eric. 66% will get you in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
My esteem in this country has gone up substantially. It is nice now that when people wave at me, they use all their fingers.
What the fuck?
Oh my God, that's fucking funny. Quote number 2. How stupid are the people of Iowa?
Trump.
So, which one?
Iowa.
Yeah, that was Trump. He said, how stupid are the people of Iowa? The first one, my esteem in this country has gone up substantially. It is very nice now when people wave at me, they use all of their fingers. That was Jimmy Carter.
Wow.
Jimmy Carter, during his presidency, was not very well liked. He really wasn't. He only did 1 term. Honestly, I see him as the last real Democrat in office. Bill Clinton was not really a Democrat, but that's a topic for another time.
What was Obama?
Obama, I would consider him a neoliberal.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. Obama was very beholden to corporations much more than Jimmy Carter was. So that's what a neoliberal is: somebody who's beholden to interests in of the politics of business. So that's a neoliberal.
All right.
In a nutshell.
Educated.
So, yeah. Anyways, so you got any plans for the week? You got anything going on?
Just working. I start my cooking classes this week. Teaching cooking classes.
Nice. What you gonna start anything good?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna ask the kids what they want to learn, and we're gonna go to Walmart and pick up some groceries and come back and cook.
You know, start out with something simple like a good chili. I think would be a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A good chili, or how to make a good spaghetti. You know what I'm saying?
for sure. Because we're gonna also utilize our food pantry, which has like all the bases of those things. We just really have to go get meat and some veggies, and then combine it. So
Yeah, chili is also really good. Like the next day, I love chili. Like the day after, you warm it up, and
yeah,
oh man, I think chili and spaghetti sauce gets better like a day or two later. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. So it's just my opinion.
yeah. But we're gonna like focus on like how to cut vegetables and how to cook meat thoroughly through and how to budget, like how to get healthy food on a budget.
Yeah, and not get like crap food too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
that's a problem. It's hard.
yep.
But you know what? I think next week maybe we should like eat and talk about it.
I don't understand.
Like we should go get some fucking food. I don't know. From wherever. I wish it was Portillo's. I'd say let's go get a fuckload of Portillo's and come back and talk about it and eat it and taste it. But we could like do it just a random place like Burger King or whatever and just go get like 5 things and you get 5 things and then we eat them and talk about them.
We could. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. You're gonna make me eat for the podcast.
Oh no, it's difficult. I mean we could go fucking try salads.
Actually, that's actually not a bad idea. Because
Not.
yeah, that's actually something that could do here because there are a lot of grocery stores that sell pre-packaged salads, like salads to go and to check out if they're actually any good.
Yeah, and I could get like fast food salads and let you know.
Well, I don't want to eat on the show. It'd be bad. That's not very good. Very
Well,
good.
maybe it could just be like a bonus episode where people are watching.
Ugh. I say we do
That's
a
a big
food.
thing. No, that's a big thing. People,
Oh, I don't think anybody wants to see me stuffing my fucking face.
I don't know. Well, if anyone wants to see that, let us know. But I want to do it. I think it'd be fun.
I think book report style.
I think I want to eat in front of people. I'm telling you, it's a big thing. People like watching
Okay.
on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes. Okay, well, we'll discuss it.
Okay, thanks for listening. Fuck you, guy. God damn it.
So you're putting the thing at the beginning now at the end. So this is Matthew, and for Eric, this has been the Odd Atheist Friends, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.